With a departing game director and record low player counts for Marathon, the situation couldn't look any more grim for legendary game developer Bungie. Welcome to Inside Games Daily, the only gaming news show brave enough to believe there's still hope for this very cool but very frustrating video game.
Yeah, there's a lot to like in there. Oh, I want to like it so bad. Why does it have to keep pushing me away? But yes, the game's first dedicated PvE mode launches tomorrow, so we can finally play our multiplayer games without all those pesky people ruining everything. So what's going on here, Brian? Let's start with the good news. What's going on here?
All right, I'll put down Pal World long enough to talk about Marathon, but let's start with the more uplifting news first. Vault Breaker, that's Marathon's first dedicated PvE mode that will allow players with, jobs or normal sleep schedules, not like us, to explore the Cryo Archive. That's the endgame zone with the biggest rewards and the most feral, overgeared player, my people. The trailer for the event went live this morning, stating right off the top that no enemy players equals no PvP.
This is what they maybe should have launched with, but hey, whatever. There are a few caveats for this. The reward system is different from normal Cryo Archive. In this mode, you actually pick up items called indexes that convert into data that can be spent on upgrades for the Cryo Archive mode or boutique gear that can be used in Marathon's PvP modes. I mean, it's never simple with Bungie, but to be honest, there are other extraction shooters like Tarkov that had PvE modes, and they don't mix up gear in those either. So I get it. It makes sense.
It does make sense. You want to keep your economies a little bit separate. So I like this, though, giving you a trinket, like a nice overpowered gun, so you feel a little braver to brave the game's PvP modes. But there's another caveat here. It's Bungie being Bungie. This event is also timed, for some reason, starting tomorrow, like we said, and running until August 4th. And then after that, it's back to PvP, bozo. I hope you didn't get too attached to all your gear.
Yeah, and while Marathon's player numbers are not looking great, we'll get to that in just a second, there is some hope among the game's fans that a dedicated PvE mode will bring back the lapsed Catholics, the lapsed players.
I mean, it is kind of apt to bring me back. I'm like, oh, maybe I should play because it'd be fun to not.
Same, I was thinking that too.
Maybe I should not to mention the phantom pain from losing new updates for Bungie's more PvE-focused game, Destiny 2, which no longer has updates now. I would assume most people at Bungie are focused on Marathon now.
Yeah, it's if you get deep enough, I guess there's a weird internal mockery going on of people that want something like PvE and then other people that maybe even want Marathon to morph into Destiny 3 somehow. I don't know, it gets weird the further deep you go, but look on the bright side, Marathon's kind of got nowhere to go but up from here.
Yeah, the game, which is always at the top of SteamDB's search popularity, is hovering between 5,000 and 7,000 unique players per day for the last week. So definitely a ways to go in terms of going up.
That's true. It is the 291st most popular game on Xbox by our count, ranking in behind Pool Blitz and Goat Simulator 3. I don't even know what Pool Blitz is.
It's free, so it's got that going for it. But yeah, a free pool game is beating Marathon on Xbox rankings right now, so that's not great. And from that, you could probably understand why Marathon doesn't appear at all on True Trophy's top 40 PlayStation gameplay chart for last week. Player data for PlayStation is even kind of fuzzier than Xbox. At least Xbox gives you a giant list of most popular games, so it is what it is. But I guess looking at it the other way, we can't really find any evidence that Marathon is doing well in terms of player counts. There's even I see screenshots on the Marathon subreddit of people that say they've been queuing for like 10 minutes and even get an error saying they failed to find a match. So that's not great.
There's the one dude in Romania who coded Pool Blitz as like telling his friends, like, I'm doing better than Marathon right now. I'm a success. But adding to Marathon's woes, it also just lost its game director, as we mentioned in the roundup last week, Joseph Ziegler.
Yes, Ziegler announced his departure in an X post last Friday, saying assistant game director Del Chafe III would take over alongside creative director Julia Nardine. And that, I guess that's not necessarily good. I'm trying to put a positive spin on this for Marathon. Losing the game director is bad, but sometimes when you launch a video game, the game director's like, I did my piece, I will move on to another game. Sometimes that's the case. That said, painting a picture of all the things we've just talked about, all the player counts and things like that, and then losing the game director. None of it looks good, and I'm worried for Marathon.
Yeah, Bruce, I think I see what you're saying because I feel something similar. I don't think the game that we got was bad by any stretch. There's a difference between a poorly made game by people who didn't try their best or maybe were misguided or whatever, and then a game that achieved its vision pretty well with a skilled group of artists, but that vision just didn't find commercial success. So, maybe we saw Ziegler's vision. Again, if you go deep enough, there are people that kind of associate Ziegler with certain aspects of Marathon that maybe they weren't fans of. So I think we saw that version of the game. I don't think it was bad by any stretch. I think there are certain... it was well executed, but not for everyone. And you don't know that before you put it out into the world and see. But the world has kind of spoken at this point that version of Marathon is maybe not the thing that's going to stick around or stick in people's consciousness. And that's what they need to do in order to survive. So we've tried that vision. Now we can see if another one maybe finds a toehold. And it seems like Vault Breaker is sort of the first step in that direction. I think the trailer actually itself thematically represents a bit of a shift for Marathon. It's very literal, which is unique for Bungie. Bungie likes being a little coy and mysterious. With, Destiny, they wouldn't spell everything out, what to do in a raid, how to even find it sometimes. You either had to know someone or look up a guide. Marathon was even more in that way. It was very mysterious, very strange. You had to kind of play it and explore and figure it out. Meanwhile, this trailer has big words in capital letters that are hard, like you can't misunderstand them, telling you exactly what to do, every single part of the step. It shows you video of what it looks like in the game. They're not being fun anymore. They're like, no, we want you to find this. We want you to play it. We want you to have fun with it. So here's exactly what it is. And please, God, try it out. So good. I want people to play Marathon. And I don't think Bungie necessarily has the liberty to be fun and coquettish about it anymore.
They really, it's so weird because I don't think they ever did. Like that's why I'm so confused by this. When they released this game, I was like, oh, well, maybe they put it like whatever, a team of like 20 people on Marathon and then the rest are on Destiny 2 forever. And now they're like, no more Destiny 2, no, only Marathon. I'm like, what is Bungie doing? Like, that's crazy. The reason I talk like this is because I'm trying to think of another extraction shooter that launched, full-fledged. We're talking they spent $40. They need everybody to play, hundreds of thousands of people. I guess Arc Raiders is the closest. But Arc Raiders, pretty independent, to be honest. And also sort of started small. I know that sounds ridiculous. Like there's like alphas and betas and stuff like that. Like Marathon was like, we did the one alpha and then that's it. We're going out. It's got to save the company. Like that's really scary. That's a really scary thing for an extraction shooter. Because usually with these sorts of live service PvP games, you have to start small. Tarkov did the same thing. Tarkov started like way back in like 2017 or 2018 and like slowly built steam and they hired on more people as the game got bigger. And Marathon has never had that luxury. So I'm so confused as to why they did what they did for the game at Bungie or even at Sony. Maybe Sony was managing it. And that's why it was so scary. Like, I don't know that there have been any other big extraction shooters from AAA game studios. Arc Raiders is the closest one I can think of. And even now, people are shitting on Arc Raiders for low player counts, by the way. Everyone's really mad at Arc Raiders because player counts have gone way down. And everyone's like, oh, they ran out of content, blah, 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 blah. Arc Raiders has been out almost a year at this point. So people are mad at it. But it took longer. And that's why I'm worried about Marathon.
That's all you can hope for on the internet, huh?
It also seems like they got caught trend chasing. And they're just late to it. Like, it feels like everybody kind of has their extraction shooter. And I think Bungie, I think Lawrence made a great point. I don't think they have the rep anymore to be, well, you just figure it out. Here's the game. You take it. You love it. We made Destiny. So this is going to be good too. I think people are mad at what happened to Destiny 2. I think Bungie's reputation is in the shitter. So they have a new game. And I think the new game, that puts the new game in the position of catching all the strays from everybody because they're mad at Bungie. So I think there's, an element that wants to see Marathon do badly. I think because it's PvP, with the exception of this update, but you need a player count. And so I think it can just hit a downward spiral. If there's not enough people, then the game's not as fun. But I feel like, this is why you don't trend chase, because the trend isn't always going to be there. And I feel like games like Tarkov, are established. I feel like they have their communities that have been with it forever, and now they're kind of fully formed, where I feel like Marathon's still very much kind of working out what space it wants to occupy in the extraction genre. So I'm hoping people play it. I think there's a lot of cool stuff in there. You wonder if time is on Bungie's side, because it does not seem like it is.
Yeah, not really. I mean, time is everything. I felt like, time's not on players' side when it comes to Marathon. That's for damn sure. That's really what it came down to for me. I have an anecdote in here. I saw a post on the Marathon subreddit from lolsalot12321, which is a great name. The title being "The lowest lows are so much lower than the highest highs," and that's a super good way to describe Marathon. But in a weird way. So, Brian, you're kind of talking about how the game was maybe a bit of a trend chase, and that's how I felt before I played it. And to a degree, that's still true. I don't think 10 years ago, Bungie would have decided to make an extraction shooter. But I also appreciate there's some boldness there. I think if you were making a game to be popular, they wouldn't have made this. They wouldn't have made the most hardcore gamer game that I've played in a long time. I haven't gotten huge into Tarkov. I've heard that's even more brutal, but that's about as deep as it goes in the video game brutality realm. So they are starting to soften the blow a little bit. PvE is kind of the first element of that, where you can play a little bit and have experience something, some kind of takeaway. That's ultimately what killed me about Marathon. Is I would play these long matches where I tried to do everything right, tried to be stealthy, tried to lean into all the mechanics, and when it's working, but then I just get zapped by somebody that I didn't know was there. And when I think back on it, I'm like, what could I have done? And I just can't think of anything. And when I didn't learn anything, and I lost before I even knew what was going on, and that's after 30 minutes of trying to play a match, 20, but trying to play a match, and it's also tense, and I'm thinking about everything, and I'm kind of at peak tension, just for it to be over. It's just a emotional crush that is never borne out by the game when it's at its best. So hopefully, if we can slide that off, just sliver it off a little bit. And I would even accept something that teaches me when I die, as opposed to just getting stomped on and that's it. I mean, that's probably harder than just, tossing a few credits at the players so they feel like they walked away with something, which it seems like what we're getting. But I do really want the game to succeed, and I personally wanted to acknowledge that there are aspects about it that are quite bold. And I think before you try a bold idea, you don't know that it's not going to work. But I think that's where we're at. So I would like them to find an idea that works, and maybe retain some of that boldness.
It's fun to hear you, Lawrence, talk about this, because you're discovering the extraction shooter. That is literally, I'm serious. And people in the comments are going to say that, but you're discovering that's what Tarkov is. Tarkov, you play for 45 minutes. You're like, I hid in the bushes for 30. I did all the and you get sniped. That's it. You don't learn a thing. You're like, well, I guess I maybe shouldn't have been over there at that time. And that is what an extraction shooter is. So I think what Brian said and what you said are both true. I do think they were trend chasing. And then I think what I mean by that is I think Bungie management, or even Sony management, was like, we have to make a live service game and it's got to be an extraction shooter. And then the developers, the people who actually make the video game, that are the artists, are talking, they did what Lawrence is talking about, which is they made a fucking awesome game. They made a really, really awesome game that's genuinely very, very hard, and an extraction shooter. And so they did their best to fit in to what Sony and Bungie wanted, or I guess Bungie management. And now we're at this point where a lot of people don't want to do that. They don't want to spend 45 minutes wasting their time and then get sniped. That isn't what people do. And Helldivers is a good example of a video game that would be considered, I guess, an extraction shooter, but it's PvE. And it's always PvE. And so even when you die, it's nobody killed me, no big deal, right? Who cares? And so it's really interesting to hear all you guys talk about this, because that's truly, I think, all the discussions that are having at Bungie right now. All these people are talking about all these things, and I don't know that Marathon has the runway to keep going. I really don't. I'm very worried. I wish that they did. I wish that this was an independent company. I wish there were 30 people that made this game, because then they could just sort of do this forever, and then they could turn this game into an awesome extraction shooter over the next 5 years. But I don't think they've got that.
Yeah, this is where working for a big, giant company, well, maybe they're not so big anymore, but it's where it works against you, because you have so much expectation around it. It's got to be a big, huge, smashing success. I had the exact same experience playing it that Lawrence did. I played, I got killed. All right, I'll go again. I played, I got killed. All right, one more time. I played, got killed a couple more times, and I'm like, this isn't for me. I can't. And so to me, that says like, this is not for casual players like myself. And I'm just like, I got to move on to something else, because I'm just feeling bad about myself at this point.
Yep, you're either predator or prey in Marathon, and there's always going to be a predator. God, it's kind of baffling, and then it kind of sets in. Yeah, I'm volunteering my time and paying for the privilege of being the dummy that somebody else gets to shoot at.
Yep, exactly.
So I don't want that. Thank you for watching Inside Games. We really appreciate that. Hopefully we'll be here in about a week to report on Marathon's miraculous turnaround. Can't wait for that one. Hopefully we'll see you for that episode as well. You come back and watch us again. If you do want to keep up with this channel and our reporting, consider checking out our Patreon. It's all free there. It's just a nice list of all the stuff we do, because we post everything there for free with some free memes. So it's, it's a fun little thread of memes. We also have a Discord channel. Just use it for notifications and stuff. That's in the description of the video. If you just want to keep up that way, you can. But on that note, we do owe some thanks to the supporters that keep us going. So thank you very much, Thane Fireblood, Reximus128, and Jay Raluark for not killing us when we were trying to extract. You can down us, that's fine. That's sporting. But you don't got to run in and knife us and make sure that the whole day goes to shit. Jesus, you already proved your point.
And they're like, it feels so much better when you beg. Bang, bang, bang.
Well, you got to get on mic. You're on open mic just blubbering, begging for mercy. Hate it.
I feel like Ralph Wiggum from The Simpsons, just wandering through a forest, not knowing what's going on.